That's why you can't have celebrities as the spokespersons for the race. But if you notice, we're the only race whose celebrities are the spokespersons. You notice that. No other group do you see basketball players, rappers, and actors being the spokesperson for what their people are fighting for and fighting against. You ain't never seen a bunch of Jewish celebrities. Think about that. You ain't never seen a bunch of Latino celebrities be the spokespersons for Latino issues. Only with black people. You want to know why? Because they want to make sure the real issues never get discussed.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is.
How you feel about the white man that's raised in the hood and he acts so black that you would think he was black?
Okay. We need to understand something. This cultural appropriation that we think suggests white people are black is insane. They come into the ghetto, they appropriate your music, they appropriate your dress, they appropriate your style, and you think it's a good thing when they're playing in your face.
Come on.
The reason I don't like the Eminem, DJ Khaled, DJ Vlad type thing is because they can be black all day and they get to leave it when they tired. They get to go back to their whiteness when they done imitating your blackness. Why would you let anybody play with your identity in reality like that? With the hell we catch as Africans, why would you let another group come into your hood, play black?
So what if they got something on their forehead that said 100% black?
Impossible.
If they did that,
they are Neanderthal DNA.
I'm Viking.
See, listen. Everybody wants our rhythm.
Everybody.
But they never around to tolerate your blues.
Oh, talk to him. Bars. Messenger.
You battle rap.
Hold on. How do you feel?
Wait. Have you seen Eminem at the Breonna Taylor protest? Was he at the Trayvon Martin protest?
No.
Was he at the Tamir Rice protest? Amir Pope protest?
No.
Sonia Massey? DJ Khaled? You seen him at any protests against police brutality?
Hell.
DJ Vlad? You see what I'm saying? So we let them exploit the more positive, fun-loving aspects of black culture. But when it comes to dealing with the struggle of being black, none of these culture vultures are anywhere around to experience your pain.
See, so then when they say, you have people who will say Eminem is the king of hip hop or the king of rap. Why? And the way I feel like a white person should have the right to rap, but they should not have a place in our category.
Absolutely. He cannot be considered in the pantheon of greatness.
Right.
Because this is an African cultural product, right?
Right.
So here now, black people were so upset when I said that. You had every top rapper you could think of join the Eminem legal defense team against Dr. Umar. But guess what? When the Country Music Awards came out, Beyoncé, who had one of the longest running #1 country albums of all time, didn't get a single nomination. Nobody said a word. So why was it okay for the white people to cut Beyoncé out of her rightly earned awards and nominations at the Country Music Awards? Beyoncé had 5 songs from Cowboy Carter on the top 10 consecutively. It was one of the longest running #1 country albums ever. Right. Not one nomination. Nobody say nothing. Dr. Umar says Eminem can't be the GOAT, and Black America goes crazy. Look at the double standard. It's okay for white people to gatekeep their culture, but it's not okay for black people to gatekeep ours.
Yeah. And I watched you, because I'm glad we made it to hip hop music. I watched you have an argument with a brother about how detrimental hip hop has been to our culture.
Brother Mouse, shout out to Mouse. He a good guy too. Shout out to Mouse.
I won't ask what you think it's doing, but what do you think we need to turn it around? Because I feel like although hip hop is very detrimental at the point that it's made it to, I feel like it has like given a lot of access to the dollars that, otherwise Black people wouldn't have access to.
Okay, let's deal with the dollars. Hip hop, which is the most popular music genre on the planet, most influential. It's a multi-billion-dollar, probably almost $1 trillion industry, if it isn't.
Facts.
Right? And it's allowed all these rappers to get rich and buy homes and blah, blah, blah. Here's my question. How has Black America benefited from hip hop in its 50 years? Show me a hospital that hip hop has built. Show me a school that hip hop has built. Show me a bank that hip hop has built. Show me a supermarket that hip hop has built. Show me a distribution center. Show me a manufacturing center that hip hop has built. I'm a nationalist. I am a Pan-African nationalist. I'm about the best interests of the nation. Nations have communities. Communities must have industries in order to take care of the people. Where is the infrastructure that hip hop is building for Black America? 50 years, not a single institution. That's not acceptable.
Who's to blame?
We are, because we allow it and we tolerate it. Now, we do know hip hop is dominated by Caucasian interests.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But what is stopping us from taking back ownership of hip hop? Nothing. We could take it back if we really wanted it back. But you know what? We're comfortable with white people being in charge.
Really?
See, post-traumatic slavery disease. The one thing Black people won't admit that slavery took from us, it took from us the natural God-given desire to want to control your destiny. We're the only people in America comfortable with white people running everything. Chinese come here, they're not comfortable with white people running nothing. Chinese got their own distribution, they got their own schools, they got it all.
Come on.
Arabs, East Indians, got it all.
Hey.
Look at us. We've been here longer than all of them. Not one hospital you can call your own. We are comfortable with white people being in charge as long as we can have fun.
Would you blame it on the Black man's ignorance to the economy and wealth?
It ain't really ignorance.
Go ahead.
It's a lack of a commitment to oneself to improve it. We don't want to do better because we don't want to put forth the sacrifice that is necessary to do better. We don't want to sacrifice. We'll vote, we'll pray, we'll march, but we will not weaponize our money to benefit ourselves. What do you see us doing that requires substantial financial contributions from everybody? Nothing. And that is your Achilles heel. That's how the Mexicans is outdistancing you, because they put their money together and they build industry together. We never do that. Not as a group.
So I have to ask.
Black people have been robbed of their racial ego. You no longer have a racial ego. Stay with me.
Let's go.
Somebody disrespect your block, you ready to turn up. Somebody disrespect your gang, you ready to turn up. Somebody disrespect your fraternity, you ready to turn up. Somebody disrespect your organization, you ready to turn up. Somebody disrespect your music label, you ready to turn up. Somebody disrespect your podcast, you ready to turn up. Let somebody disrespect Black people. You would say, oh, well, maybe it was true. We don't have a racial ego. Latinos have a strong racial ego. Chinese, strong racial ego. Jews, strong racial ego. Anglo-Saxons, strong racial ego. Black people have the weakest racial ego, and therefore you are the weakest politically and economically.
So the hip hop world, and this goes into the economy world of Black people, do you feel like when they say crabs in a barrel mentality or crabs in a bucket mentality, where we will climb over each other for that one to get out on top?
Yes, sir.
Is that a truth that you see in our community?
Absolutely. That's true for Black people, period. That ain't just hip hop.
Yeah.
That's Black across the board. And you know what? It comes from the plantation. On the plantation, the slave master would liberate a couple slaves a year. And the only way you could get liberated was to do what? Snitch on the other slaves. He not working hard enough. He got out to the cotton field too late. He trying to run away. The only way you could get free was to snitch on another slave. And guess what we still do? We still undermine and undercut. Why? Because we believe only one Black person can win at a time. The essence of our self-hate is rooted in the fact that if I find out you winning, I believe it automatically means I can't. See that? If your podcast is winning in dollars, it automatically means mine can't. Says who?
Right.
Why can't both of them be winning? Right?
Right.
They could both be winning. But because we come out of that slave plantation mentality, the minute I find out his business just opened, it means mine can't. It's a ridiculous way to think, but that's the way black people think. Another black person's victory is automatically my defeat.
So why do we feel like that even though we haven't ever been slaves?
Say that again.
Why do we feel like that even though I've never been in a slave situation. Like I've never been, I wasn't on a plantation, but I feel like even like you said,
intergenerational hypnosis.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on a slave plantation. Behaviors are passed down through socialization and indoctrination, right? So in sociology, we have the generation recidivism theory. You will be exactly like your great-grandfather if your parents don't do something different in the way they raise you. You understand? We also know that you can pass down trauma intergenerationally without having gone through the experience. Yeah, you can teach trauma. You could come in here and say you got hit by a car and I wasn't there, but the way you describe it, the way you emote it, I will take on your trauma myself. You see what I'm saying? If the mother has anxiety disorder, the daughter going to have anxiety disorder because she's going to learn it from her mother. My great-great-great-grandfather was a slave. George Washington Bailey, first black public school teacher, Denton, Maryland, cousin of Frederick Douglass. He had him and my grandmother Annie, had my grandmom Caroline, grandma Vivian. Grandma Vivian married Grandpa Cicero. They had Grandma Mida. Grandma Mida married Grandpa James Johnson. They had my father. Married my mother. They had me. We 6 generations away from slavery, bro.
6.
That's it.
That's it.
My great-great-great-grandfather was a slave. He was in the Civil War. We're only 6 generations away. Slavery was not that long ago.
It wasn't.
You could find elders. We got elders walking the earth whose grandparents were slaves. It wasn't that long ago. They want you to think it was a long time ago so they could try to make it irrelevant. Everything we go through now is based on slavery. Every problem black people have is based on slavery.
Right. So how do I get my racial ego back? I mean, yeah.
That has to come back with the group. And as Frederick Douglass said, it's better to raise strong children than to repair broken men. So I believe we only do that by raising the next generation of children properly. We got to raise the next generation of boys and girls the way that they're supposed to be raised. You follow me?
Yeah.
Trying to put a positive racial ego back into African people is going to be almost impossible if you're working with adults because people don't change. Do you know that most people who go to therapy will never get better? Most depressed, anxious, bipolar, borderline, schizophrenic, eating problems. Most of them will be the way they are to the way that till they die.
Yeah, they can suppress it.
Only 15% benefit from therapy. You feel me? These are people who want to change and they still fall short. So what makes you think you're going to change a whole race who've been behaving dysfunctionally for 159 years?
So let me ask. This
Start with the children.
Yeah, this
Start with the children. Frederick Douglass said it's better to raise strong children than to repair broken men.
This could be controversial, and well, it is. When it comes to teaching slavery in school, do you think we should stop teaching slavery to see America who doesn't remember that, or should we always teach the traumas that we had as slaves and to young third graders?
If you don't know where you've been, how do you know where you're going?
Could you teach hate though?
I don't believe so. This is what I tell people. They said the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, you're going to teach black children in history. Yes. How are you going to make sure they don't hate white people? That's not my responsibility.
Come on.
That's not my responsibility.
Come on.
And you have black parents who will deny their children a knowledge of self because they love white people so much that they don't want their kids to dislike white people. That's insane. Do you think there's a Jew who gives a damn if their children dislike Germans after finding out about the Holocaust? Who cares about how my oppressor feels about my children learning about their oppression? I don't care. But let me give you this. I don't have a dog in the public school teaching racism fight because I don't believe it's the public school's job to teach our kids who they are anyway. You understand me?
Yeah.
So when Ron DeSantis in Florida said we're taking out slavery, I don't give a damn. Because y'all shouldn't be teaching our kids who they are. The community should be teaching their children who they are. I don't want white women teaching black kids who they are. I don't want white men teaching black kids who they are because they can damage your child's interpretation of their history. If a snow bunny gives my daughter Harriet Tubman, if a snow bunny gives my daughter Winnie Mandela, if a snow bunny gives my daughter Queen Nzinga, or Ya Asantewa, or the Agogie warriors of Benin. If a snow puppy give my son Garvey, Douglas, Booker T, Carter G. Woodson, George Washington Carver, Toussaint L'Ouverture, if a white man gives my son knowledge of self, he can destroy the way my son sees himself.
Oh, man.
You never give your enemy the power to interpret your children's memory for them. See, here's the problem with us. We got so used to white people doing everything for us that we don't want to do nothing for ourselves. And we've gotten so bad, we don't even know what we should be doing for ourselves versus what we should be fighting them to do. You should not be fighting them to teach your kids who they are. You should not be fighting them to teach your kids who you are. That's your damn job. Do we got to fight them for the criminal justice system? Hell yeah. Police brutality? Hell yeah. But fighting them to teach your kids their history when they don't even know it or care about it? You got a church on every other corner. Why can't the black church give out free black history lessons once a week? Because all they care about is money. That's why.
Oh, that's church is a different question. So, Dr. Umar, do you preach integration or separation?
Neither.
Let's go.
I preach independence. Independence. It's not about integration, separation, because you can't control what people do. Right? That's number one. And number two, I can't control who somebody want to date, sleep, be with. All I'm saying is let's build our own infrastructure. So black people not dependent on white folks for their health, for their food, for their employment, for their mortgage. Independence. Go to a Chinatown. Chinese are independent. Going to Arabs are independent. They still integrate socially. I ain't got no problem with that. If that's what you want to do, they're going to leave these bunnies alone anyway. I'm saying build infrastructure so our people ain't got to depend on white folks. And if you are an integrationist, here's my question. Why is the bedroom the only place white folks are interested in showing their love for black people? If white people love us so much, why is the bedroom the only place we see true integration? Why we don't see it at the bank when we need a mortgage? Why we don't see it with the police when they pull us over? Why we don't see it with the judge in the courtroom? Why we don't see it with the way they treat our kids in the schools? If white people are so in a rush to marry you, because all over TV, all you see is what? Mixed race couples, right? All the commercials, all the shows. If they love you this much, why don't you see it anywhere outside of the bedroom? Because it's a damn scam. They brainwashing black kids into believing you could only be happy with a white person. Genocide for the black family.
Let me ask you about the black man who he feels it's his responsibility to only date black women. What do you say to that man as far as?
That's the man. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay, yeah. You ain't got no problem. Like
cultural commitment.
Yeah, like
that's what you're supposed to do.
He does not, like, I would not stick my Peter into.
No bunny hopping.
Man.
None. No rice, no ice, no spice, no sand, no salsa.
I also saw on one podcast that the black woman doesn't want the black man because he has not made himself suitable to, be with the black woman. What does a black man need to be in order to get the thing that he feels like he's not getting from the black woman? Because you hear a lot of what I like, the submissiveness and the docileness from the other races.
It's ridiculous for a black man to be looking for a docile black woman, because if she became docile, she would be destroyed in this society. Do you realize how many black women are raped and abused and molested? She got to get tough in order to protect herself. 1 out of every 4 black women are abused. Most of us in this room are going to marry a woman who is abused.
Thanks.
She got to get tough because she ain't got no father in the house. She got to fight back. She ain't got no uncle to go to. The uncle might have been the molester. So we got to realize that our women have been through a lot. And for me, I don't have a problem with black men criticizing black women, right?
Right.
But don't do it in a historically amnesia way. Don't act like you don't know what she's been through.
Right.
Black women been raising 70% of the kids for 50 years by themselves. What you expect her to act like? She been doing your job and hers for 50 years, and you want her to get down on all fours and say, yes, massa. For what? First of all, You can't expect a black woman to go serve a white man and then come home and serve you too. There can only be one king.
Facts.
Which one is it? Because if it's you, why she got to go slave for a white man?
Word. Facts.
So then I have to ask you,
We can't
you know,
have it both ways.
Cat Williams set the internet on fire last year on Club Shay Shay, where
Yes,
he
sir.
mentioned, this year. I'm sorry, I'm already in the future, goddamn. Where he mentioned all the celebrity black actors that have the superficial, light skin black wife. They put a picture up of all the people we were talking about. And they all have like the same similar looking.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I never watched the interview fully through, but I didn't know that there was a segment where he dealt with the light-skinned white piece.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think about that? Because he showed
It's intentional.
Is it intentional?
It's not just the actors. You can come into the black consciousness community.
Oh.
You can come into the woke world. And all the people you see on YouTube talking black talk, look at their wives. Most of them look like they could pass for Latino.
What do you feel that is?
Self-hate.
Self-hate, wow.
Let me give you something. And these are my heroes, so I'm not putting them down. Sheikh Antijope. Has anybody ever heard that name? You need to look him up. CheikHantadiop. Sheikh Antijope. He wrote a plethora of books that everybody needs to read. I haven't read them all yet. One of them is The African Origin of Civilization. This is the black man who snuck into the museums of Egypt and took skin off the mummies of Egypt and came up with a melanin dosage test to prove that the Egyptians had to be black based on the amount of pigmentation in their skin. He revolutionized the field of anthropology. And guess what? His wife was white. What am I saying to you? Knowledge and consciousness does not replace conditioning. You can know everything about black history, but if you have not internalized it, if you are not convicted by it, you can still be a coon. And I'm not calling an ancestor that, but I'm showing you that just having knowledge of self does not preclude you from falling victim to the same types of self-hate as every other black man in the community does.
So when you see
black men are in large part light-skinned supremacists. We are biased towards lighter-skinned women. We are biased towards mixed-race women. And we are extra biased towards white women. Yes, black men, not just in America. This is global. Black men globally, African men, due to self-hate, colonization, slavery, indoctrination, we are biased against our dark-skinned and brown-skinned women. Yes, we are.
To go back to Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders real quick, when I watch a Colorado Buffs game and I see the girls waiting when they arrive on a bus or, they get on there, it's nothing but, the snow bunnies. They're screaming, hooping and hollering. And it makes it seem like, I remember there was a movie called He Got Game where it showed the college life where he has a threesome with 2 snow bunnies. And it's almost like they made it seem like that's more fun. That's part of college for the black man or the black athlete. What do you say to the black athlete that has to kind of go against that when that's all they see?
Here's the thing. Again, the situation don't make the man. It reveals you to yourself. Look at brother Noah Lyles from the U.S. Olympic team. Did he not just marry a dark-skinned Jamaican sister? You see what I'm saying? He said, I don't care what the world want me to do. I don't care what my Olympic coaches want me to do. I know this ain't good for marketing, but I'm not here for that. That's my queen. She chocolate, she black, and I'm going to marry her. That's why I got a lot of respect for Noah Lyles. He went against the grain. He went against the grain. But you got 2 things here. Black men feel that you're not a success unless you have a snow bunny. Part of the black man's definition of success is the snow bunny. Trae Young married not too long ago. Joel Embiid married not too long ago. They know them white women wouldn't have married them if they didn't have money. They know they're being used, and they do it voluntarily. And they know when they run out of money, she's leaving. But they don't care because they're caught up in the matrix. You see? So, but you also black women have a role in this. First of all, black men are not teaching black boys to stay loyal to black women. And black women aren't teaching black boys to stay loyal to black women. I've had black mothers tell me they don't feel comfortable telling their sons that they can only date black women. How are you a whole black woman complaining about not having black men, but you can't tell your son to only date black women? Because it's a conflict of their religion. White Jesus won't let them tell their son that they can only date black girls. We are a walking contradiction. The very things we need to do to fix ourselves, we find an excuse not to do them.
Man, that's crazy.
Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say was the agents for professional athletes and entertainers, they tell them that having a white girl will be better for your marketability because we have to make you more acceptable to white people. So they're told to get light skin. They're told to get, if Travis Hunter's girlfriend carried on the way she carries on in public, if she was dark, they would have told him to drop her.
Free.
They would have made Travis Hunter drop her already. She's still standing because she don't look black and don't identify as black. I think she identifies as Latino.
Now, I the Latinos, right? We have a lot of Latinos there.
You got white Latinos, you got Latino Africans.
Right.
Latino is an ethnicity, not a race. You can be of different races.
Okay. But then I think you probably asked about, because a lot of them appropriate the culture, but you feel like they belong there. They're not appropriating. They are black.
If you don't identify as African, you are appropriating the culture. I don't care about your biology. I care about your psychology.
Right. Now, what I was going to say is, so I remember you was talking about the sisters and how they dress. And one of the things you was like, the sister is beautiful, but until she learns how to cover up and be more modest, I believe you were talking about Sukihana.
Black women in general,
right,
could stand to dress a little more modestly. They could.
Okay.
Some of them are objectifying themselves to the point where it almost appears that they're selling even when they're not. And it's giving our daughters a bad influence because they also feel that I have to sell my body in order to be attractive to a man. So they need to calm it down, right? But that's not my biggest issue because not all black women dress in a promiscuous way. My issue is the fake hair. They got to give it up. First of all, y'all spending too much money on this fake hair. That money could be doing so much for black women, so much for black girls. We got a black girl problem. We got child trafficking problem. We got homeless black woman with children problem. And y'all spending $30 billion out here on beauty and hair. Get rid of them perms and weaves and wigs. If it was up to me, all black women would be shaved bald and grow it back natural.
So what do you say to white Jesus when Jerusalem is in the middle of the Middle East? You know, Bethlehem, we already know the locations of those. When they say Jesus is of pale skin and, you know, when you hear the other side, woolly hair, what are your thoughts what they taught us as, you know, slaves of what Jesus is to look like, and then go from there where we look at Jesus
was an African. We know this because prior to the Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, Emperor Constantine, that's when Jesus was made the Son of God. He was not universally considered the Son of God before 325. And that's when they discontinued the truth of his Ethiopian lineage. Prior to 325, when they said Jesus was born in a manger in Bethlehem, it was widely known that Jesus was born in a cave in Ethiopia. Jesus is black. Every coin and statue of Christ prior to the rise of white supremacy has him as black. The oldest painting of Jesus, which I think is in the Cairo Museum, I have a picture of it, a replica of it. He's black and all 12 of the disciples is black. Y'all saw the president of Russia, Putin. He went down into the Vatican, not the Vatican, but the cathedral in Russia and showed you all the black images of Christ in the disciples. Remember now, the word Christ, Christos, which is a word that speaks of the soul that rises within. Christ is a title. In ancient African culture, you could not be called a Christ if your son was not black, if your skin was not black, because the melanin, the chemical, not color, it's power, it's energy. The melanin is what gives you the ability to access higher levels of spiritual consciousness in the first place. So you had to be dark to be a Christ, because the darker your skin, the greater your spiritual propensity to reach higher levels of spiritual reality. You tap into other dimensions based on the amount of melanin in your body. So he had to be black. Every prophet was black. There was never a prophet that came into this world of any religion that was not an African, because African people are the children of God. We are the chosen ones. Being chosen has nothing to do with being a Hebrew. It has nothing to do with being Muslim. It got nothing to do with being Jehovah's Witness or a Christian, none of that. Being chosen is being God's original people, and that is the African. We're the black, we're the color of the black soil, which is the richest soil in the world. Why do judges wear black robes? Why do you put on a black robe when you graduate? Because blackness is divine, it is divinity. So if they get you to tap out of your blackness, you tap out of your divinity. The biggest scam being ran on black people is color don't matter. You know why it don't matter? Because they don't have it. Remember, every other race comes from you. You're the only race who comes from God. Your DNA goes to God. There's no race that can say black people came from us. But guess what? Everybody has to say that about you. Everybody came from the black man. The first ancestor in China, black. First ancestor in India, black. First ancestor in Russia, black. Show me a people who don't have Africans as their ancestors. Now show me a people who can claim that they are the ancestors of the Africans. Nobody. We are the chosen ones. But we got to tap back into our blackness. Your blackness is your birthright. It is your connection to supreme consciousness.
So does that mean that if you don't have melanin, then you can't access God?
Well, first of all, everybody has melanin.
Okay.
Even Neanderthals. They just have a very small amount of it.
Gotcha.
Right? Everybody has melanin.
Okay.
We have the highest amount. Can they access? Yes, but not as quickly, not as efficiently, and not as powerfully as you can. You feel me? A black person tapped into their spirituality is God incarnate. God incarnate. And see, I understand why the snow bunnies are attracted to black men, because on a spiritual plane, the white man, he can't take them where you can take them spiritually. Also, in terms, the first law of existence or survival is self-preservation. So the white woman will be attracted to a black man she hates. You got white women who hate black people, but she feels drawn to the black man. Like, why do I want to copulate? I don't even like black people. Because on a subconscious level, your ancestors are screaming out, go get some of that black DNA before your ass no longer exists. Remember now, in America right now, what do we have? 25 of the 50 states have a white zero growth population rate. Right now, 25 states have more white people joining their ancestors than being born.
Oh.
And I don't wish that on nobody, you understand?
Right.
But my point is, they're struggling to survive. They're already the world's minority. They're about to become a super minority. And that's why they need your DNA to give them an energy boost so they can survive a couple more generations.
What do you say to society putting, when it comes to the color, black, white, where they make black like darkness, almost evil, almost, and white, light, pure, blackness, lack of color? To your point, look at the numerical code that the Caucasian gave to melanin. Y'all know what the numerical code is for melanin, right? 666. Oh, shit. Damn.
The numerical code for the chemical that makes us black is 666. In other words, he demonized your spiritual power because he don't have it. Remember now, when the white man used to hang our ancestors, he castrated us 99% of the time, right? You could hardly find a black man hang who wasn't castrated. Why did he castrate you? He hung Chinese, didn't castrate him. Hung Jews, didn't castrate him. Hung Italians, didn't castrate him. Why did he castrate the black man? Because of your genetic superiority. We are the only men who can reproduce ourselves in any woman. Any woman I lay with that's a black child. He can't do that. The white man can only reproduce himself with a white woman. If he lays with any other woman, he remakes another one of her, not himself. He hates the black man for that. You You have genetic supremacy. You can go anywhere and make a black child. He hates you. And cutting off your penis is a metaphorical and symbolic way of cutting off your power.
So with that being said, let me ask you about the LGBTQ community.
The rainbow.
Yeah, what do you feel the representation like? When I look at Elton John versus RuPaul.
Is Elton John rainbow?
He likes
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So exactly. They portray him like when you look at Lil Nas X versus I can't know anybody know another white young who represent, I don't know, but it always makes us look like we're just so flamboyant.
They make us flamboyant.
Yeah, it's just
ultra feminine. Well, you know, when white people catch the cold, black people catch the flu. Anytime they have a problem, we have to take it to the 20th power. And you see the same thing with the LGBTQ. Right? A white man to be you'll never know because he's not effeminate. A black man to be and he has to intentionally, still typically effeminize everything he does. He got to change the way he walk, change the way he talk, change the way he laugh. You understand? Yeah. He has to embody it to the 20th power. We do that in order to please them.
Damn. So
and for the black man, it's castration of black masculinity.
Yeah, dude, you feel like they want to, because they seem to put a lot of emphasis on that. When someone is like more flamboyant, they're like, oh, he moves 5 grades up versus if he was, more reserved, more of a gentleman.
Well, remember now, we are living in an age, thanks to President Barack Obama, who all y'all voted for, we're living in an age where if you are a black male, you are being given a preference if you are. There is a black male preference in American society. And our boys are seeing how black male are being given privilege. If you look at the church, if you look at media, Don Lemon and etc., right? If you look at college and university, if you look in the film, even in music to some extent, black males have a greater likelihood of success than black males. They may be mistreated in the community, but purely looking at opportunity for success, the minute you say you are, doors will open for you if you're a black male. Why? Because a black male is no threat to the white power structure.
Right. So
he is no threat to the white power structure.
Right.
They will give him a job 50 times before they give you a job. They give you the job, they think his wife gonna want to give them pale cookies. Aunt want to give you cookies, right? If you hire a masculine black man, you can't mistreat him. You ain't gonna be able to keep the white women away from him.
Right.
You understand? You can't imitate his swag.
Right.
But if you get that effeminate black male, he'll be your best worker and your number one snitch.
Damn.
And I love all black folks. Brothers, I don't hate you. I ain't got no issue with you. I just disagree with your lifestyle. Stop running around telling people I hate you. I don't hate nobody. I love all black folks. I just disagree with your lifestyle.
Who should we have voted for?
Neither.
Thank you.
Kamala Harris had no agenda for blacks. Donald Trump had no agenda for blacks. You see, he only put one black person on his cabinet. And you see Daniel Penny, the murderer who our brother in the sub, Donald Trump brought him to the Army-Navy game to sit up in a box with him. So that he spit in every black person's face who voted for him. And I can't believe you have black people running around championing Donald Trump for president. That was crazy. It was crazy to champion Kamala Harris, but to champion Donald Trump too?
Can you list the reasons why black people should not be riding with Donald Trump?
Either one, though. It's not different. Like, see, y'all got this thing that Democrats are different. It's all the same. Okay. It's all the same. Number one, what has he said he's going to do for black people? Listen, we got 5 major problems. Miseducation, mass incarceration, gentrification and homelessness, police genocide, access to wealth. Which one of those 5 mega problems of black America did Kamala Harris speak to or Donald Trump spoke to? Which one? None. None.
No prison, no.
So why you voting? We should have organized our vote and not voted. The best thing we could have done was put them 50 million votes on the table and say, since y'all not speaking to us, y'all not getting them. Come see us in 4 years. Make them earn your vote. But you got people like Swollen Martin and all these other people running around trying to make you feel like you got to vote for somebody or you disobeying your ancestors. That's all crap.
Well, when I tell people that, like, there was no viable candidate,
There wasn't.
But
that's our fault too, though.
No, for
Because
sure.
we never make nobody speak for us. We let Barack Obama waste 8 years of our time, ain't do nothing for black folks, set us all the way back. Obama set us back more than we realized, bro. You know why Donald Trump ignored black people his first term? Because Barack Obama ignored black people both terms. Why Joe Biden ignored black people? Joe Biden came into office and told black people, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Turn right around and sign what? An anti-transgender bill, Asian hate bill, Native American violence bill, gave money to the Afghanis, who's Russia fighting? The Ukrainians. Ain't did nothing for black people. He gave you Juneteenth holiday. What the hell we needed a Juneteenth holiday? Don't we party enough? We didn't need another holiday. First of all, we already celebrate Juneteenth. We didn't need the feds. You know why he did that?
Right.
Whenever the federal government adopts a black holiday, they the power. They the power in Dr. King Day. Don't nobody take that serious no more. They Kwanzaa. When they started celebrating Kwanzaa at the White House, they people don't take Kwanzaa. It's commercial now. It's commercial. And now they then took over Juneteenth. In the past 2 years, Juneteenth has been taken over by the Rainbow Gangers. Go anywhere, the Rainbow Gang run Juneteenth now. I don't want the government adopting my holidays. We don't have nothing sacred in Black America. Y'all know that?
Mm.
What do we have that if you're not black, you cannot do it or touch it or go inside of it? Think about that. Is there a place you can't enter unless you're black? Is there a holiday you can't celebrate unless you're black? Is there an article of clothing you can't wear unless you're black? Chinese got things. If you're not Chinese, you can't touch it. You can't hold it. You can't be a part of it. Jews got that. Latinos got that. We're the only people who have nothing sacred. Anybody can come and do anything black people do. Nothing sacred. That's our fault.
Invited
We have
to the cookout.
multiculturalized ourselves out of respect.
So can you tell us your
And
thoughts?
who gave me sparkling water?
Yeah, is it sparkling?
That's all they had.
It's like, oh man, yeah, sparkling. Oh man, that's a white man's creation. So when it comes to when it comes to February, Black History Month, Juneteenth, those are supposed to be for us.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have everybody stop and let us celebrate us. Are you saying we lost those dates as well?
We lost them because we gave them up to the government. We gave them up to white people. When we started letting white people participate in Kwanzaa, I knew it was over. When we started letting the White House celebrate Kwanzaa, I knew it was over. When the founder of Kwanzaa, Dr. Malana Karinga, said that white people can participate, but they cannot lead it, I knew it was over. Because white people don't share power, y'all. Y'all need to understand something about Caucasians. They don't share power. If you let them in, they're coming to dominate. We are the worst victims of racism, but we understand it the least. The minute you let them in your community, they taking it. You let them in your business, they taking it. They don't share. They don't share, and we keep acting like we can share with them. They don't share.
Wait, is it the imagery of, because it seems like, oh, this person's in power, that black man's in power, this black. Is it just
that's
them?
just the image.
They're just giving us.
We confuse an overseer with a slave master. Barack Obama was an overseer. He's not a master. Kamala Harris, Clarence Thomas, Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, rest in peace. They overseers. They not the masters. You see what I'm saying? We got to recognize you're an overseer. You answer to the master. You ain't the master.
What about Atlanta? When you go to Atlanta and all the black people are, it's like feels like Wakanda or something. Like, what do you think about Atlanta? Do you think they got it?
Atlanta is progressive,
Right.
but white power is still very much there, though.
Okay.
Because we don't have a black hospital in Atlanta. Do we? No. There's not a single hospital in America that's owned and funded by black people exclusively. Not one.
Can we recreate a Black Wall Street?
Absolutely can, when black people value independence. Remember, when they burned down Tulsa, when they burned down Rosewood, when they burned down Charleston, South Carolina, when they burned down Wilmington, North Carolina, because we had dozens of Black Wall Streets. Tulsa was just the most popular, right? But guess what? After they burned down, A lot of them black people came back to rebuild. You know what happened? Their children and grandchildren wanted to integrate. They did not want to have their own. We prefer white. We want access to white proximity. Remember, we had 500 hospitals that was black in America. We had 500 hospitals.
Hey.
Not one today. Why? We want proximity to whiteness. We move into white neighborhoods because we send our kids to white private school. We go snow bunny hopping. We love white people. And we don't want to admit it. Black people are in love with white folks. You niggas here, you love them. You love them. But we don't want to admit it. And psychologically speaking, if you don't admit you sick, you can never find a cure.
I have to say this because, a Superman trailer just came out. Brand new Superman movie.
More white.
Yeah, blue eyes.
Yeah.
White, and it's supposed to give
the black woman's ideal husband is Superman.
It's supposed to give even the young black kid hope. Do you feel like we're losing, where they don't have no black superheroes kind of across the board almost?
We need to come up with a whole new movement of new black superheroes. We need a strong one. We can take our kids' minds back. We can take our kids' minds back. I'm working on the Prince of Pan-Africanism series now, where I'm going to deal with racism, bunny hop, and everything. It's going to be a nice joint. But here's the thing. Superman is the children's version of the Christian church. You go to church, there's a white savior. You go to the Superman movie, there's a white savior. What's the difference? Why is it okay to worship a white man on Sunday, but it's not okay to worship a white man on Saturday at the movie theater? And you know what's crazy about all these white superheroes? Guess where they come from? Guess where they come from?
The sky.
They were all plagiarized from African divinities. Aquaman is Olokun. In the Yoruba pantheon, Olokun is the male spirit that owns all the water. Halle Berry Storm, that is a divinity known as Oya. She's my mother in the spiritual world. She's the empress of the winds. She's responsible for revolutionary change. Wolverine is Ogun. Incredible Hulk is Ogun. Thor is Shango. Superman is Shango. Charles Xavier is Obatala. They took our divinities of the African pantheon and turned them into superheroes. We will let our children worship the artificial white superhero and never tell them about the real life African spirit that it was stolen from.
I never knew that.
That's a word.
I wanted to speak to when you said we love white people.
We love them.
I would say I always had a healthy fear because I knew they had access to certain things that I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The police.
Mm-hmm.
When the police come, no matter whatever the situation is you. You did it. You going to jail. And that was always, it was like everything was always built for it to be on their side.
Absolutely.
You grow up fearing that, so you rather not mess with it. The black people, you don't fear that because they don't have no access to law and
absolutely. A white person, even if they're poor, they have access to power. I might be a homeless white person, but let you do something to me. You have no idea that my uncle is the chief of police. You have no idea that my father is the judge you're going to see tomorrow. You have no idea that my cousin is your wife's boss. Even if a white person doesn't have power, they have access to it. They are in a spider web. They are a spider in a web. All I got to do is shake the web and I can still get your ass. That's what we don't understand. There's no such thing as a powerless Caucasian as far as black people are concerned.
Like Paul Mooney said, when you see a poor white person, you just say, that's a waste of white skin.
Well, the difference, though, is they could always decide to get their life together.
Right.
See, a white man could get a haircut and an education and join the power structure. You could get a haircut, education. You're never going to be into the power structure.
Umar, let me ask you.
You can only be a puppet of the power structure. That's why people say black people racist. Black people can't be racist.
Yeah.
Racism is complete domination and control over resources, opportunities, and privileges. Black people don't control no resources. You don't control no opportunities. And you don't control no privileges, so you can't be racist. Can you be a bigot? Hell yeah, you can hate white people because they're white. But can you do anything about your bigotry? Hell no. Racism is discrimination times power. You got to have the power to impact people. If a white person get mad at you, you automatically start thinking, who do they know that me up?
Facts.
You get pissed off at a white person, they laugh and keep going because they know you know nobody who could mess with them. And the Negroes you know in position who could mess with them, they too scared to mess with them.
The military.
I don't want us in the military, especially not now, because peacetime is over. If your son or daughter get into the military now, they're going to have to die. Excuse me, they're going to have to go to the front line. Their life will be put in jeopardy because peacetime is over. Now, if you went in the military in the 70s and the 80s, from Vietnam to the Gulf War, you was good because America really wasn't, they wasn't doing too much. Now, ooh, it's going to be tough now. It's going to be tough now. And I don't want nobody dying for white men to get access to land, resources, dope. Because that's what you fight for. Nobody goes anywhere to fight to make the world safe for democracy. You fight to make the world safe for capitalist exploitation.
For what they got.
Right. We need that gas. We need that oil. We need the gold. We need the diamonds. We need that piece of land. That's what wars are for. Nobody fighting for no damn democracy. If voting could change anything in the world, voting will be illegal everywhere in the world.
Hey, get back to kings and queens.
The greatest trick the white man pulled is making everybody think you can replace him with voting.
I mean, I will go back to Barack, but we've already talked about it. So let me ask you this. Let's do it like this.
Because the alternative to voting is what? Revolution.
Hey, for
so
real.
They gotta make you think. This is why they need black people to vote. They need you to go vote because that is their meter. That's how they can tell if we still run these niggas. You see, when they say voter turnout for Barack Obama, 92%, the white man is like, okay, good. They still believe in the system. If black people ever didn't vote at all, let's say no blacks vote, they're going to be worried because the only alternative to democracy is revolution. Show me a people who ever got out of oppression through voting. No. Why do you think wars are fought? Wars are fought because some selfish ass person wants to take and control everything, and somebody else says, I'm not going to let you do it.
Facts.
Like even when we talk about reparations, right? And we're entitled to reparations. And by the way, if we get reparations, if you are a bunny hopper, you don't get no money.
Oh, well. Okay.
Right? But stay with me. What the white man owes us is so much.
Yeah.
Wars have been fought for less than that. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Wars have been fought for less than what America owes black people. So what makes you think you're going to get it without bloodshed? Which takes me to another point. What have we ever gotten in America without bloodshed?
Man.
Didn't we get out of slavery with bloodshed?
Come on.
Voting Rights Act, bloodshed.
Facts.
Civil Rights Bill, bloodshed. Housing Act, bloodshed. Black Power, bloodshed. Everything you got in America, you got through blood. What makes you think it's going to change now? Why do you think we ain't made no more progress? Because ain't nobody died for it.
Ain't nobody willing to die.
Why don't nobody want, this is a question I asked Charleston White too. Why is no one willing to die anymore? Why nobody want to die?
Well, black men, we have lost about 50% of our masculinity. And I'm not talking, I'm talking black men are not as masculine as we used to be. We don't fight like we used to be. We don't build for the people like we used to be. We don't challenge the white power structure like we used to be. We are not as masculine as we used to be. In fact, we may be the least masculine generation of black men that ever walked American soil.
And that's a tough thing to hear.
Men don't compromise.
Yeah.
We compromise on everything.
How do we, and I'd be worried about having this conversation, especially on camera, because I've always
Go ahead.
like, how do we mobilize? Like when When do you ever think it'll be a time where we mobilize, when we say enough is enough and we mobilize?
Here's the thing. When people have self-love, they will move out at the drop of a hat because they have self-love, right? Black people don't have self-love. I'm speaking of the group. The only way you can motivate a group of people who don't have self-love is through necessity. The only way Black people are going to stand up and fight back against racism is if they beat us down so bad, we feel compelled to react. Are y'all following me? We don't have enough love to organize beforehand and prepare. Only people who love themselves prepare. Black people don't prepare for shit. We react to everything. Reaction is only anger. When Michael Brown got murdered, we reacted. We should have reacted, but there was no proaction after that. Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, Alton Sterling, Tommy Wright, Sonia Bland, Sonia Met, right? Yeah. We react. Anger. It's easy to tear shit up. It's easy to tear shit up. That's anger. But when are you going to build something? What was ever built as a result of one of these police genocides? Think about that. Did we build anything as a result of Trayvon? Did we build anything as a result of Breonna or Tommy? No.
We tried.
Because you need love to build. We don't love ourselves. So the only way you can motivate people who don't love themselves to act, necessity.
You know, I feel like, and then you say that and it's so true, you know, I've watched my mother live through the condition that was so bad sometimes. It was like, we shouldn't be living like this, but if she can do it, then I know I can live like this. And it's never, I always felt like no matter what I go through, it'll never break me. But there are people who wouldn't stand for that condition that I had to live in with my mama. You know what I'm saying? They would mobilize. But we feel like our struggle, we have power in our struggle. We rap about it. We make songs about it. Like we love to struggle. Like we've embraced the struggle so much.
And I'll tell you why. Struggling against the white power structure doesn't require a sacrifice. To build for your community requires a sacrifice. Black people don't want freedom. We want comfortability.
Come on now.
If the white man tomorrow in Dallas said, we leaving Dallas to the blacks. All white people are leaving. You not blaming us for nothing else. We out. The city's yours. Do you know what would happen in 24 hours?
Anarchy.
Black people would go and get the white people and bring them back.
Damn.
That's how much we love white folks. And that's how much we disrespect them. No, I'm serious. We would go get them and bring them back. We don't want to live nowhere without white folks. We need to understand it. Because see, here's the thing. If the white man leaves, now you're responsible for black boys. You're responsible for the education. All them sisters who getting welfare checks and free housing, you got to fill that void now. Do black men really want responsibility for our women the way we claim? Because you hear black men saying, you know, the welfare reduced the black woman's respect for the black man. Okay, there's a little bit of truth to that. So if the white man cuts every black woman and child off welfare in Texas, are black men going to step up and make the necessary sacrifices and assume the responsibilities and accountability to take over where the white man took out?
There's a lot of black men in the building. I don't see no heads saying
Y'all
yes.
know damn well most black men are not voting to assume that responsibility.
So
we still live under the protection of the white man's power structure.
So Umar, let me ask you, when it comes to reparations, what would you personally for you?
Reparations.
What would that look
music.
like?
All black music comes back to black people. Nobody can sell black music but black people. Nobody can record black music from black people. There's no Eminems, there's no Khaled's, there's no DJ Vlad's. Nobody can exploit black music. We own all the masters. That's Michael Jackson, that's Prince, that's Biggie, that's Pac. We own all black music, period. We're the only ones who can market it, sell it, perform it, produce it, distribute it. Black music is ours. If we only had that and nothing else,
We already up.
we could build a Black Wall Street in every city off our music.
Come on.
You know, music is one of America's top exports, you know.
Yes.
Black music in particular. If we just ran Black music, we could build up every Black city.
Come on.
But I'm not going to stop there. All Black inventions have to revert back to us too. Everything we control, everything we invented, you got to pay us a license. Cell phone,
For real. Come on,
internet,
Carter.
helicopter,
Refrigerator.
refrigerated truck, gas
man.
mask, stoplight,
Come on, man.
a third of your medications,
That's good. Insulin, goddamn.
the machine to make shoes,
Come on, man.
all kind of stuff, man. All kind of stuff. The lights,
Come on.
the incandescent light, the permanent light. Ivan Van Sertima, not Ivan Van Sertima, what's my brother? Louis Latimer invented that. I want inventions. I want music. I also want control of the main port in the 10 states where 60% of Black people live. So 60% of us are in Maryland, Texas, California, New Jersey, Michigan, Illinois, North Carolina. I'm forgetting something, but there's 10 states. It's 60%
Give us
of
them ports, yeah.
the port. That way we get paid on everything coming in, everything going out.
Come on.
I also want a 25% cut on all of America's revenue. Anything America make money on, natural resources. She got gold, she got gas, she got wool, she got solar power.
Yeah.
We get a 25% cut forever.
I like that.
Also, certain natural resources we control forever. Remember, the benefit of slavery to the white man can never expire, right? As long as there is in America, white people getting rich off it, right?
Yeah.
That means whatever we get for reparations should likewise never expire. If it runs out, you got played. Because as long as America exists, she benefits from your slavery. You feel me?
I feel you.
So that's why when people say money, I don't want no money. Why we got money on the list of if you are asking for cash, then your reparations list ain't worth much.
That's what I said.
Because your reparations list should put you in a position to make all the money you want on your own. What you need to pay out from him for. But Black people are so worried about money that we can't see the bigger picture. We also fail to recognize that reparations is not just for us living, it's for those gone and those not yet here.
Come on.
I ain't heard nobody talk about how much we're gonna put to the side for the generations unborn yet.
Facts. Facts.
And that's why I believe that this generation of Blacks in America, we shouldn't get the reparations. We are too irresponsible.
Ain't ready.
We will waste it.
Yeah.
Put the reparations in a trust somewhere until we get a more revolutionary, more conscious group of Blacks. Let them decide what to do with it. We ain't there.
Yeah.
Look at all the bunny hopping and shit we do. What we doing with reparations?
Easter
I
Sunday.
don't want to, no. So we can blow the money. I had a sister text me one day. You know what she said? Can you stop talking against reparations because I need that money to pay my bills?
Oh, man. Short-minded.
that?
Short-minded.
Reparations is to repair, not to pay your damn weed bill.
Fix my debt.
Oh, man. And you see Bob Johnson, the former owner of BET?
Yeah.
Bob Johnson said every Black person in America, what did he say? Should get 300, or was it 500? I think it was $375,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Nigga.
Something like that. Something like that. Buy that Ferrari.
$375,000. Is that even a house in dollars?
Nah, not really.
That's not even a house.
Damn it.
And this is one of your Black billionaires recommend.
Look, we got rappers around here walking around with that.
That's
In
what
a
I'm
little
saying.
backpack.
Yeah.
Come on, man. $375,000, and that's a billionaire. A billionaire.
Said that. Come on.
That's why you can't have celebrities as the spokespersons for the race. But if you notice, we're the only race whose celebrities are the spokespersons. You notice that.
Yeah.
No other group do you see basketball players, rappers, and actors being the spokesperson for what their people are fighting for and fighting against.
Yeah, they be quiet.
You ain't never seen a bunch of Jewish celebrities. Think about that. You ain't never seen a bunch of Latino celebrities be the spokespersons for Latino issues. Only with Black people. You want to know why? Because they want to make sure the real issues never get discussed. If I put a microphone in front of LeBron James, and I like LeBron, but if I put a microphone in front of LeBron James, he ain't never going to discuss the real issues. I put a microphone in front of Kerry Washington. I like Sister Kerry Washington. She ain't never discussing no real issues. You see what I'm saying?
Come on. Come on.
So we got to look at that.
street stars, nigga. Move. Hey.